Development and Social Welfare Law. This is your host, Dr. Tulipo Mwenfumbo. And today's topic we are looking in Module 4, we are looking at law relating to vulnerable groups. Law relating to vulnerable groups. So, laws relating to vulnerable groups refer to the legal framework that protects and promotes the rights of individuals and who are disadvantaged or marginalized due to various factors. So the law is there to protect. When we talk about social welfare law, protect the vulnerable, and there are some laws that have been put in place to protect those marginalized communities or marginalized people. So these laws vary by country and jurisdiction, but share the common goal of promoting the well-being, dignity, and human rights of vulnerable populations. Some of these vulnerable population include age, that is children and elderly. You know, the children they are so vulnerable because they cannot defend themselves. They cannot stand for themselves. So they are vulnerable. So there are laws that protect children and also elderly people. You know, when someone grows, and mostly when they retire, um, they become not productive, and as a result, there is so much exploitation of elderly people, especially people that are above 65 years. They lack protection because mostly they cannot defend themselves. So the laws protect such people. Then there is also gender, uh, gender like women rights. Well, some uh, the women are so vulnerable in most cases. Although this time things have turned, the women were so much vulnerable in such a way that they were abused by men. In other countries also they have laws that protects the lesbians and other genders that have been created in other countries. Like in other countries, they are when you say when you the way that it is written gender. In Zambia and in most countries, there is female or male, but in other countries, there are more. There are about four genders. There is what is called female, male, transgender, and uh, there is bisexual. So there are different types of genders. So now in the other countries, when you talk about social welfare law relating to vulnerable population, it also includes such people. There are people that have got maybe they are born with two parts. One side is male, the other side is female, and such people may face a lot of challenges because of the way they are born, and they need to be protected. They did not choose to be what they are. Then disability. The disabled also they are vulnerable because they are unable to defend themselves in many cases, in many ways. So they need special laws that can be able to protect them. Then there is also protection from ethnicity and nationality. Sometimes, like in America and other Western countries, there is also racial discrimination. Then there is also apartheid. There is also like tribalism. Also, all those things must be able to protect. So the law is there to protect such things, whereby you need to have the freedom, even the freedom of worship and all that. So the it needs to be protected in laws. So such groups are so much vulnerable to be exploited by those that have got power. Then there is also socio-economical status. The people that are poor also sometimes they are so much abused, so they need to be protected. So the law should protect the people that are homeless and also people that are living in poverty, because if you are in poverty, you are unable to defend yourself. As the Bible says, uh, riches are a defense. So it's if you are poor, it's very difficult to defend yourself. So there must be laws that protects you. Then we have the laws that should protect in health, because health, there are diseases that where people they begin to discriminate, and they need to be protected, like mental health and also HIV, and there are other diseases that are supposed to be protected. So these laws aims to prevent discrimination and violence. And also the laws also promote equal opportunities and access to resources. And also the laws um, that are meant for vulnerable, they also provide special protections and support service, and they also address systemic inequalities and benefits. So, as I said, the examples of laws relating to vulnerable groups include child protection laws, anti-discrimination laws, that is gender, race, and disability law. Then there is refugee and asylum laws, indigenous peoples' rights laws, disability rights laws. There is elder abuse prevention laws. There are human trafficking laws, laws protecting the rights of the lesbians and also the homosexuals, which are we have denied here in Africa and in Zambia particular. So the key provisions of laws relating to vulnerable groups aim to promote the well-being, dignity, and human rights of vulnerable populations, and may vary depending on the specific law and jurisdiction. So there is what is called non-discrimination law that prohibits discrimination based on characteristic like race, gender, disability, age, uh, or sexual orientation or ethnic group. So these laws, which are non-discrimination, they prohibit that. Now there is this international the international treaties which talks about this. But in Africa, uh, we have refused on sexual orientation. One being the homosexual, because we feel, and according to our research in Zambia and in other African countries, says that being homosexual, it's a choice. Yes, one may have some may have uh, feminine when he's male, but he can be able to control it as he's growing. Then there is the equal access, which ensures equal access to education, employment, care, and other services. So there are laws that uh, protects any person, for example, a disabled person who can be able to perform the work that is trained in. He has not to be discriminated because he is disabled. For example, one working with a computer, now one says no, like we cannot employ this one. It's discriminatory. Same like discriminating someone for employment because of gender. So if one chooses that I want to be a minor, there is no one who should discriminate that person, whether she's male or she's female or is another gender. So nobody should discriminate one from working. Then there is also nobody should be discriminated from education. So if a woman chooses to get, like, I want to become a commando, no one should discriminate her. She has chosen that. So there should be no discrimination. Although in gender there is what is called gender ability, because mostly we talk about gender gender rights and all of those things, but there is also gender ability, what a certain gender can be able to do. Then there is also protection from violence, prohibits physical, emotional, or sexual abuse, and provides protection for victims. So there is also protection from violence. This vulnerable population must be protected from violence and also physical or emotional abuse. Then we have got special support services that provide access to specialized services such as counseling, rehabilitation, and social support. Then we have got legal presentation, the organizations that are there to represent such marginalized population, that ensures access to legal presentation and assistance for vulnerable individuals. Let's say like people that are in poverty. So there is legal aids where they can be able to access legal services when they can't afford the fees. So those are provided to protect the vulnerable, like the poor people. Then there is also confidentiality. It protects the privacy and confidentiality of vulnerable individuals. Um, like when they are interviewing a child on certain sensitive matters, you'd find that on television they'll be able to hide the face of this child. So there is a privacy that they want to protect. Maybe this child was left and she's talking about how she was left, and they are not going to show the face of this child. Why? Because of the laws that protects confidentiality. Then there is also reporting requirements, which mandates reporting of suspected abuse or exploitation. We have got in police, we have got what is called uh, uh, victim support. So those institutions are established to protect and so that they may be able to report those that are vulnerable in society. Then we have got penalties for violation, impose penalties of violating the rights of vulnerable. So there is the law enshrines what are the penalties for violation of this. There is fines, and also there is imprisonment for violating this. Then access to education and employment. It promotes equal opportunities in education and employment. Then also access to health care. This is the debate I remember that we were having when we were having the constitutional review. Now we were talking about the homosexual or then now the question came about, if you are a doctor or you are a nurse, then someone is an homosexual, are you going to deny, and this person is sick, are you going to say I cannot attend to you because you are homosexual? So when we talk about homosexual rights, we don't talk about promoting homosexual in a legal framework. We are talking about the homosexual also having access, having the human rights, having their rights, that like rights to health, rights to education, and other things. Not necessarily that they have the rights of being homosexual, they have the rights of human being a human. So that is to like ensuring that for healthcare services and also the other things. So there is also the access to reproduction. Every person has got rights to reproduce, whether it's vulnerable or what. So they has to be cared for. So nobody is denied of having children according to law. Then there is also social security benefits that provides access to social security benefits and assistance. So this is we talk about the social welfare, the relief. Currently, we can see that the government of Zambia is giving relief to any woman that claims that she cannot afford to take care of her children who are less than 2 years. So that is also given, and you have to advocate it uh, as the social welfare legal personnel who works in the community. Then there is cultural sensitivity, which requires cultural sensitivity and awareness in service delivery. Then now let's look at human rights for vulnerable. These are fundamental human rights that are essential for vulnerable groups. These rights are interconnected and independent, and are essential for promoting the well-being, dignity, and human rights of vulnerable groups. Here are some of the rights that we are going to narrate. There is a right to life and dignity. So, protects individuals from harm, abuse, or exploitation, ensures the right to live with dignity and respect. No matter how poor I am, I need my respect as a human being. No matter how a person, how disabled that person, he deserves respect and dignity. No matter how that person the gender is, no matter how that person race is, no matter how that person ethnic group or tribe is, that person needs respect, dignity, and also doesn't deserve abuse. So this includes the rights to life, physical and mental integrity, freedom, and from torture and cruel treatment. It's also dignity and autonomy. Then right to equality and non-discrimination. It ensures treatment and opportunities for all. It prohibits, when we talk about the rights to equality, it means that everyone is equal. Nobody is above the other person. So this prohibits discrimination based on race, gender, age, disability, sexual orientation, religion, nationality, and other status. So nobody should discriminate me, my rights, even when I'm in another country. There are some rights that I have as a person, and then I have to be given all those rights. I should not be discriminated. I should not be beaten. I should not be lobbed because I'm in a foreign country. No, those are the rights that we have. Then also these rights include the rights to equal access to education, employment, and healthcare. Uh, I should have equal access as no matter where I am, no matter of my race, no matter how disabled you are, no matter the sexual orientation. Then equal treatment under the law. Before the law, we are all equal. So I should not be discriminated because I am a man and I'm dealing with a woman in the case. So the freedom and discrimination and harassment, rights to social security and social welfare. It also ensures access to essential services and support. This includes the right to social security benefits, like pension and employment benefits, social welfare services, that is healthcare, education, and housing, assistance for vulnerable groups, children, elderly, persons with a disability, then protection from poverty and social exclusion. The uh, when we talk about, as we are talking about the laws that are relating to disability, it is we are talking about the social laws, the development and social laws that have been enshrined to protect people that are vulnerable. So these are the laws that protect people who are vulnerable, and there are laws. There are a lot of laws which you need to research and ensure as a um, community legal personnel. You need to protect the community. You need to protect the vulnerable people. You need to advocate these laws. Oh, thank you so much for being with me. This is your host, Dr. Tulipo Fumbo, and you can join me in other classes. And you can, the if you want to contact me, you can contact me on plus 260 976 18 12 53, plus 260 976 18 12 53. So you can inquire about the other courses that we are offering, and also you can be able to call me for any inquiry. Thank you so much, and God bless you.